Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Mekk-Knight deck profile. So I'm really excited about this one because I love Mekk-Knights. They're in my top 5 favorite deck of all time. This is a pure build. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that. I just wanted to do one really fast before Eternity Code comes out. Obviously after Eternity Code hits, this will be a different deck. Things will look a lot different. So I want to do one pre-Eternity Code. But Mekk-Knights have really, really cool mechanic where columns play a role. You know, if you haven't seen them, what they do is if 2 or more cards on the same column, the main deck Mekk monsters can special summon themselves from your hand, and then they have different effects. They have really cool boss monsters with Avermax and Spectrum Supreme and even Morningstar. So they just do a lot. They're a lot of fun to play. They're a little more expensive. Purple Nightfall is sitting at about anywhere between $15 to $18 now. Blue Sky is still sitting at about that $6.50 to $7 range. So Purple Nightfall is definitely, the most expensive next to Avermax. But without further ado, let's get right on into this, guys. Go ahead and hit that bell to become a part of the notification team. Subscribe while you're here for more deck profiles just like this one, and give us a thumbs up if you like it. So to start off with, we are playing 3 Mekk-Knight Purple Nightfall. So like I said, Purple Nightfall is the most expensive main deck monster, with sitting between anywhere between 15 and 18 bucks. You might be able to get him a little bit cheaper on eBay. Kind of just depends. So what he does, he has really cool effects. So if 2 or more cards in the same column, you special summon this card from your hand in that column. So all the other main deck Mekk-Knight monsters share that ability. So just to save time, I'm not going to say that anymore because you already know. You can only special summon 1 Purple Nightfall in this way. So he has a quick effect that you can target 1 Mekk-Knight monster you control and banish it until the standby phase of your next turn. And if you do that, you get to add 1 Mekk-Knight monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. So he's really cool because he can also target himself. So if you're playing, like, I don't know what's a good example, like Unchained, if they're going to play Dark Hole, or if Abomination comes out, they're going to pop something, you can chain it, use Purple Nightfall's ability to save himself or one of your other Mekk-Knights, and then they're protected. You get to search a card and add it to your hand, and then him or the other monster you protected comes back during your next standby phase. And that is really, really cool. Like, I really love this card. So next up, we're playing 3 Blue Sky. Blue Sky might be my favorite. That's a tie. I love both of these equally. So if this card is normal or special summon from the hand, you can add Mekk-Knight monsters with different names, except another copy of this card from your deck to your hand equal to the number of opponent's cards in this card's column. You only use this effect of Mekk-Knight Blue Sky once per turn. So he's really, really good. I'm always, if I don't have a Purple Nightfall, I'm always searching off Purple Nightfall of him. He has potential to get you so many cards to your hand, and he definitely helps the consistency of this deck so much. So next up, I'm playing 3 Indigo Eclipse. Now, before you start scrolling down to the comment section and be like, why are you playing 3? This is going to change after Eternity Code hits, for sure. I'm definitely going to bump this down to 2, maybe even 1. I know some people play it between 1, 2, and 3. I like it. I like what it does. I like what it brings to the table, so I'm running it at 3 just for now, but that's definitely going to change in about a month and a half. But Indigo Eclipse has a really unique effect to where you can only special summon him once per turn, in that way of having 2 more cards in one column. He has a quick effect where you can target a Mekk-Knight monster you control, including himself, and move that target to another one of your main monster zones. So that is really cool, because if your opponent is like catching on to what you're trying to do with the column, so if they start spreading out their stuff, but you already have Indigo Eclipse or another Mekk-Knight in a column that has 2 or more cards in a column, but you want to get out your Purple Nightfall or your Blue Sky, you can go ahead and just use his effect to move that card or himself, and then that frees up that column, and then you can bring that monster out in that column. So that's really, really cool. And the fact that you can do that during your opponent's turn is awesome. And we also use this to basically get 2 monster negates on the board, what the trap card we'll get to a little bit later. So he's really cool. So I'm running 1 Yellow Star, not Yellow Sky. Basically what he does is you can banish 1 Mekk-Knight monster from your graveyard, then target 1 spell trap, and this card's column destroy it. So he's good. I mean, he's not fantastic, but he's good. I'm playing 1 Red Moon. Red Moon was actually the first Mekk-Knight I ever saw. I pulled him in whatever the heck he came out in to begin with. But he was the first one I ever saw, and I thought he was really cool. Little did I know he was like the lamest one of all of them, maybe. A little bit harsh, but true. What he does is you can banish a Mekk-Knight monster from your graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster, and this card's column destroy it. So spells and traps and monsters, as long as they're face-up, popping. So that's really cool. 1 Green Horizon. What he does is when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster in this card's column, you can target one Mekk-Knight monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So he's really good at just being able to get out stuff from the graveyard as well. And then I'm playing one Mekk-Knight Avram because we do not normal summon like at all in this deck. You could bump Avram up to 2 if you wanted to. I've seen some people do that and it didn't really seem to hurt them too much. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to do that, you could. But for the next 2, I'm playing 2, I don't know how to say this, Aperia? I think it's Aperia. Because, like I said, this works with the normal summon because we don't normal summon, like, hardly at all. And if this card is summoned, you get to draw a card. So you get, and you can only use the effect of Aperia once per turn. I'm probably not saying that right. But, you know, just being able to dig a little deeper into your deck, since we don't normal summon hardly at all, we might as well take advantage of that and get a good effect off of our normal summon. So I'm playing 2 Kaijus, I'm playing 2, well, it would be 2 Gamma Cells, I can't find my other Gamma Cells, so I'm playing Degorion, just because, just removal, monster removal, because, you know, our opponent's probably going to get something. Now, if you want to swap this out for one of the other Mekk-Knights, or, you know, add another one, something like that, or even a third Aperia, that's fine, that's not going to be a big deal. I'm playing 2 Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. Now, this really depends on what kind of deck you're playing. If you're playing against something that's not really going to link summon too much, you could, you know, really side this out into something else. But Phantasme has been really good in this deck for me, so I kind of want to keep it that way. We'll see how this holds after Eternity Code hits, but I'm playing 2 DD Crow because DD Crow, I just like it a lot, and I think it works pretty well with this deck. And then for the last 3 monsters of the main deck, we're playing 3 Ash because you definitely didn't see that coming, right? So, you know, this bottom row is really flexible. You know, I kind of don't really think Ash is too flexible, but the rest of them, if they are, if you want to swap them out for something else, that's totally fine. So that's it for the monsters. Let's move into the spells. So I'm playing a decent monster count. I'm playing just 1 World Legacy Key. World Legacy Key is cool. Now, if you want to bump this up to 2, that's fine. It's a continuous spell that when this card is activated, you can target one of your banished Mekk-Knight monsters or World Legacy cards and add it to your hand. So that's good, just being able to recycle your banished pile. Negate any opponent's trap effects that activate the same column as Mekk-Knight monsters you control. So that's really cool, especially when you swarm your board with Mekk-Knight, so your opponent can't activate traps. Now, I only play this at 1 because traps aren't like crazy heavy anymore, but if you know you're going to be playing something that is, you can definitely run more of this. So next up, I'm playing 3 World Legacies Memory because this is an awesome card. It's a quick play spell, and I absolutely love it. What it does is you special summon a Mekk-Knight monster from your hand or deck in defense position, but return it to the hand during the end phase. This is like a glorified searcher because you get to bring out any Mekk-Knight monster from your deck, and yeah, it comes back to your hand, but that's awesome. That's better than it being in your deck. And it's really cool if you had nothing on the board, just being able to stop a direct attack. That's really cool as well. For the rest of the turn after this effect resolves, you can't special summon a monster or set Mekk-Knight monsters, so do keep that in mind because most of the time you are going to be going to Mekk-Knights, but just in case you're going to Light Unicorn or Boral Sword or something like that, just keep that in mind. And you only activate 1 World Legacies Memory per turn. So I'm playing 1 Monster Reborn just because it's a really good extender, 1 Mind Control, and 1 Upstart Goblin. Just to dig a little bit deeper into the deck, excuse me. So that's it for the spells. Really quick, just wanted to mention, I have played just for fun a few times. I've played Burden of the Mighty, just to help with, you know, getting things in some columns and laying things down. It has a really cool effect to where each face-up monster your opponent controls loses 100 attack times its own level. So it's not that great anymore because, you know, like if you're playing Link stuff, this isn't going to be a big deal at all. But it is an annoying card that can help out with just putting stuff in columns, to where if your opponent lays anything down in those columns, you automatically get to bring something out. So it's kind of fun to play if you want to experiment with it. If not, it's totally fine. It's just definitely a fun one. So moving on into the traps, I'm running 3 World Legacy Scars. Now this is the one I was talking about earlier. So what World Legacy Secret, not Scars. What World Legacy Secret does when this card is activated, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So that's really cool, and it's not just, you don't have to just do Mekk-Knights. Any monster is level 5 or higher. Now, when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. Now, what it does is it negate an opponent's monster effect that activates in the same column as a Mekk-Knight monster you control. So the cool thing about this is, if you have Indigo Eclipse and like they try to activate some Indigo Eclipse's column, it's negated, right? And if they do it again, you can just, or try to activate something else, you can chain Indigo Eclipse and move it to that column that monster is trying to activate its effect, and then it's negated. So it's really, really cool. I really like this card. You could bump it down to 2, but I think 3 is pretty good because I've gotten that combo a lot, and it really messes with your opponent. Now I'm playing 2 World Legacy Whispers. This card is activated. You can target one level 5 or higher monster on the field, and it gains 1,000 attack and defense to the end of this turn. You negate any opponent's spell effects that activate the same column as Mekk-Knight monsters you control. Now, if you were playing against something like Dark Magician or something like that, you might want to switch out World Legacy. Shoot, I can't remember the name of it now. Key. You might want to switch out Key for that one, just to play 2 of that, because that's really good against spell heavy decks. But this is a good card, especially with the, you can boost up your Purple Nightfall or Blue Sky for that tap boost, and that's really cool as well. I'm playing 2 Solemn Judgment just because we don't want our opponent getting out anything like that. And then I'm playing 3 Impermanents. Now, if you wanted to play more Judgments, so I'm playing 2 Solemn Strikes. If you wanted to play Judgments, you could do that as well. Because I am aware that Permanence is a expensive card. I was just really lucky and pulled 5 of them. That was super crazy. But Permanence really helps with the deck because you do have the option to lay it down, and you have the option to activate from your hand as well. Those requirements met. So this is really cool. But that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's move on into the extra deck. So in the extra deck, we're playing 1 Avermax, which you knew that was happening, because Avermax is freaking awesome. Absolutely love this card. Pulled him in the first ever Dark Neostorm pack I ever got. Like, he was the very first secret rare I ever got out of that pack, and that was really cool. I'm playing 1 Appaloosa because you can go into Appaloosa pretty easily in this deck. 1 Burl Sword just for OTK. So for the link 3s, I'm playing 2 Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme. Now, Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme, I feel like he's really underrated because he's good. Now, if you want to bump this down for a 3rd Morningstar, because I'm only playing 2 Morningstar in this particular build, that's totally fine. Like, I've done that before too. I've just been playing with 2 Spectrum Supreme. I've actually been going into Spectrum Supreme, and I just like him a lot. So what he does is 2+ Mekk-Knight monsters. This card can attack directly if it's the only card in its column. If this card is in the extra monster zone, points to no monsters, it can be destroyed by battle or card effects. And all the the arrows are down here, so you'll be able to control that, especially with Indigo Eclipse. It can't be destroyed by battle card effects. So you can send 1 other card in this card's column to the graveyard, especially on a Mekk-Knight monster from your deck in defense position. You'll only use this effective Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme once per turn. Like, he does a lot of cool, really good stuff. I really like running him. Like, he's actually one of my favorites to go into. Of course, I'm trying to get into Avram, if I can. I mean, Avermax, excuse me. But Spectrum Supreme is actually really cool. I really like him. So I'm playing 1 Unicorn for the other Link 3, and then 2 Mekk-Knight of the Morning Star. So like I said, if you want to get rid of one of the Spectrum Supremes and run a 3rd Morning Star, because Morning Star is really good, that's totally fine. He's a Link 2 monsters, including a Mekk-Knight monster. This card is Link Summon. Discard 1 Mekk-Knight monster or 1 World Legacy card and add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. You can only use the fate of Mekk-Knight of the Morning Star once per turn. If your Mekk-Knight monster battles an opponent's monster in a different column than it, your monster cannot be destroyed by that battle, and then you take no battle damage from that battle. So that's really cool. He really protects. So I like him a lot. I'm playing 2 Lib, the World Key Blade Master. Now, you could bump this one down to 2. There's been a few times I haven't needed to go into it twice, and then I took it out, and then there's been a few times where I was like, crap, I wish I had to. So, just experiment and see what you like to do. But 2 monsters can only be linked some way, have a World Legacy card in your graveyard. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. During your main phase, you can set 1 World Legacy spell trap directly from your deck. That's really cool. But it cannot be activated this turn while you have no World Legacy cards in your graveyard. If this Link Summon card is sent in the graveyard as Link material, you can shuffle 1 card on the field into the deck. And I really, really like that secondary effect because it gets by so much protection because it doesn't destroy, doesn't target. Non-targeting, non-destruction effects are really powerful in Yu-Gi-Oh! For the last few, I'm playing 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Almirage, because I love Almirage, 1 Relinquish Anima, 1 Link Karibo, and then 1 Dirgasu, the Orders of the Evening Star, because sometimes you go into him, not often, but sometimes. But that's it for the deck, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, I love Mekk-Knights. They are, I don't want to say they're budget. They're budget-ish, because if you can get your hands on a playset of Purple Nightfall, Blue Sky, and Avermax, I mean, That's kind of expensive, but the rest of them are, very budget. But yeah, that's it, guys. There's a lot of different builds of this. There's the Shaddolls that invoked. Definitely gonna be doing those as well. But I just really want to do a pure one before Eternity Code hits. Definitely be looking out for the updated version after we pull and open some Eternity Codes. But give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Like I always say, you're here, you might as well subscribe. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers this month, so I would greatly appreciate that. And hit that bell so you become a part of the notification team. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.